Welcome all to Remote Sensing Lab. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to pre-process hyperspectral imageries using NV software. So as you all know, hyperspectral imageries from hyperspectral sensors are having a large number of spectral bands, each having very narrow bandwidth of 5 to 10 nanometer. And whereas our multispectral bands are having very few bands and each having a very large bandwidth. So this speciality of hyperspectral imageries will enable us to plot continuous spectral response curve, which for each and every pixel in the imagery, and this can be the information from these spectral response curves can be used for many applications such as detecting and identifying minerals, agricultural monitoring, soil mapping, water quality monitoring, etc. So before using these data sets for a particular application, we need to pre-process the data. So the pre-processing of the hyperspectral imageries involved removal of bad bands. That is, bands having no pixel information has to be removed, and removal of vertical strips, and finally atmospheric correction to obtain the surface reflectance values from the radian value. So here I'm going to show you how to pre-process the data set from the Hyperion sensor, which is on board EO1 satellite. So Hyperion data set is having 242 unique spectral bands ranging from 0.357 micrometer to 2.5 micrometer, and each band is having a bandwidth of 10 nanometer, and it is having a push broom sensor with a spatial resolution of 30 meter, and it acquires the data every 16 days. So the data is available from 2001 to 2017. So first we will download the Hyperion data. So for that, open Earth Explorer, select your region of interest. So data is available from 2001 to 2017. So I've given here 2013 to 17, and in the data sets under EO1 satellite, select Hyperion EO1 Hyperion data and click results. So this will shortlist all the imageries between the given dates. So click on the download option to download the imagery. So here you can see the imagery is available in three different formats. So L1R product in HDF format, L1 GST product in GeoTIFF format, L1T in GeoTIFF format. So in this, L1R is radiometrically corrected image, and L1 GST and L1T are radiometrically and geometrically corrected image. So here I am going to use L1R product since I have to show you the pre-processing and calculation of the surface reflectance, etc. So download the L1R product. So I have already downloaded the L1R product. We use that. Extract the downloaded zip file. So here the file name represents in the file name EO1 is standing for the EO1 satellite. H is for Hyperion data, Hyperion the sensor name. 147 is the path, 047 is the row, then 2013 is the year of acquisition, then 117 is the day of the year. Then the remaining numbers are like Hyperion data is having EO1 satellite is having different sensors. So each number represents, one represents whether that particular sensor is on or off. So 0 means 1 represents the sensor is on, 0 represents the sensor is off. So inside this folder we have our image file, that is .l1r. Then header file is there. Then image metadata is also there. So now we will open the NV software. So search NV Classic, open NV Classic. So this is the window for NV Classic software. We can see all the toolbars. So now we will import our data. For that, open file, open external file, and select EO1, and under EO1 Hyperion tools. So Hyperion tool allow us to import the data and do the pre-processing of the data. So our data is level 1R, so we select that and select the input HDF file. Now here the Hyperion tool, this will convert our input data to a NV compatible format. So we'll select all the output to a new, we'll save the output to a new folder. So for that, create a new folder. Output, select output, and here tick use flag mask correction. So this is for removing the vertical strips in the Hyperion data. And also select output flash scale factors. In order to convert our DN values to radians values, we need scale factors. So select that also, and then click on process button. So this is our converting our HDF file to NV format. And then now the newly opened window, you can see that all the available bands for our selected file is listed here in the available bands list window. So here you can see that all the 242 bands of Hyperion dataset. To 42 bands. So if you wanted to open the RGB color image of this data, click on RGB and select the bands. So we open standard false color composite, select red band, NAR and band 30, band 20, and click on load RGB button. So this will create the standard FCC of Hyperion data. So here 3 windows you can see. So the first one will show the entire scene. So this is our data, Hyperion data, and the display window 1 will show a little more like whatever is inside this square, selected square will be visible here, and enlarged version of that is shown in zoom window. This is zoom 4x. This is the original Hyperion data. And for opening the grayscale image, you can click on grayscale and just select the image. So this will give the grayscale image. So out of these 242 bands, only few bands will be calibrated due to non-illumination and sensor overlap problems. So we have to remove all the other bands which is not having any pixel information. That is our first step, band removal. So for that we have to open and see all the bands, and we have to note whichever bands is having no pixel information. So this is due to the non-illumination and sensor overlap problem, and some bands will be extra, like it will be having too much brightness due to too much brightness, and it will be noisy due to the presence of water vapor region. So those bands also we have to remove. So we will do the first step, that is a removal of bad bands. So we'll open and see. So you can see that band 1 is not having any data. Similarly band 2 also, and 3, band 7 is also not having data, band 8 is having data, band 9 is having data. So similarly, you have to check all the open and see all the bands, whether it is having the data or not. So here I have already opened all the data sets and I have noted which is not having any information. So the band 1 to 7 is not having any information due to non-illumination, and band 58 to 76 is also not having information. That is due to the overlap between the very near infrared region and the shortwave infrared region. To 76. So here you can see no data is there, and also band 118 and 122 to 133 is having too much noise due to water vapor region. So if you right click and click on the cursor location value, you can see the uh, particular value of that pixel. So here you can see it is having negative values. So we just remove these values, these images. These bands we will remove exactly. Then 164 to 188 is also having so much noise in the image. And 213 in between bands is having the data. So these bands have data. Now 213 to 242 is also not having any data. So here you can see no data is available. So now we have to remove from our entire data set, we have to remove all the data sets which is not having any information, and all the bands which is not having any information. So for that, we just use basic tools, resize data option. From basic tools, select resize data, select your input file, and select on spectral subset. So here you can see all the bands of the selected data set. So from here, from this we have to select whichever band we are going to use. So we'll not select the bands which is not having any information. So here band 1 to 7 is not having any information. So and band 8 to 57 is having data. So we'll just select band 8 to 57. Then band 77 to 117. Press Control and select 77 to 117. Then 119 is also having data. Then 134 to 163 is having data. 134 to 163. Then 189 to 212. See, we have selected all the bands which is having information. So you can see here band 8 to band 57 we have selected, then band 77 to 117, 119, then band 134 to 163 we have selected, then 189 to 212. So total 146 usual bands are there. So we'll just click OK. Then so out of 242 bands we have selected 146 bands. Then click OK. So here you can select the output file name. So here we will just write the file name as subset. And click open. So we have entered the output file name. Now click OK. So this will resize the data. Now our new subset dataset is opened here. So here you can see the selected bands 8 to 7. So this was our original data set, and this data set from this data set we have removed all the bands which is not having any information, and till up to 2 we have subsetted the image. So up to 212, total 146 bands we are having in the subset imagery. So next what we will do is here in the output directory which we have given earlier, we have the flash scale factor ASCII file. So we'll just open it in Notepad, and we have to, from the scale factor also we have to remove the corresponding bands which we have removed. Like in the original data sets, whichever bands we have removed, its corresponding scale factor also we have to remove from this. So you can see here two values are there, 400 and 800. So very near infrared it is having a scale factor of 400, and for short wave infrared it is having a scale factor of 800, total for 242 bands. So from this we have to again remove for the unused bands, we have to remove, that is these bands. So for that, select band 1 to 7, we don't need the data, then 58 to 76. 58 to 76. Then 118, then 120 to 133. 118 we don't want. 123 to 133. Then 164 to 188. 64 to 188. 13 to 242. 213 to 242. So we have selected all the unwanted bands. 758 to 70, 58 to 76, then 118 to 118, then 123 to 120 to 120 to 133, 164 to 188, then 213 to 242. Now we will just remove these, delete these, all these values. Just remove the in-between speed. So now we have 1, 4 to 6 scale factors for all the 1, 4 to 6 bands. We'll just save this. So both in the flash scale factor text document and from the original dataset, we have removed all the bad bands. Now next step in the pre-processing is the removal of vertical strips. So if you open the images, you can see a vertical dark bands or bright bands over the image. So this is due to the push broom scanner. So we can remove these vertical strips. So these removal of this vertical strip we will be doing using a local destripping method. So that is like we will modify all the pixel values of these vertical strips by taking the average of the neighboring pixels. So select the band whose vertical strip we have to remove, and Okay, now so select that particular area where the vertical strip is present using these three windows, and whatever we have selected inside the square will appear on this zoom window. So here you can keep your cursor on this strip lines, and from the tools select spatial pixel editor. So if you click on this particular strip line, you can see the values corresponding to those pixels over the strip line. So compared to the neighboring pixel 5 and 7, column 6 is having the values very less, lower values. So what we will do is we'll select the column 6, entire column 6. So it will be having all the pixels that is coming inside this square. So we have selected all those pixels over that strip line, and from options select replace selected column with average. So this will selected particular column will be replaced with the average of the neighboring columns, and from file save changes to file. So now you can see that here that strip is removed now. So select the next area. Again select all the pixels in that particular column, and then click on options, replace selected column with average, and from file save changes to file. So this will again remove the further vertical strips. So we have to continue this process to remove all the pixels. Select the pixels based on by clicking on the strip line, and then select the pixel, replace selected column with average, file, see changes. So again, now we can see that here and here the strip is removed. Here a smaller portion is still there. Just select that, select it, and so now you can see that whole portion is strips are removed. So similarly for you have to do the same process for all the bands which is having the strips to remove the strip lines. So this method is called local destripping method. So this is how the strip lines are removed. So I'm not showing all the removal of all the strip lines here. So the same method you can apply to all the bands. After that, close the window. So now we have done removal of bad bands as well as removal of vertical strips. So next step is applying the atmospheric correction. Close these windows. Now for applying atmospheric correction, go to basic tools, pre-processing, calibration utilities, and inside that both quick atmospheric correction and flash atmospheric correction tool is available. So we'll use for today's lab, we will use flash atmospheric correction. So first we need to input our radiance image. So for that we'll select our subset image and then click OK. So it will automatically ask for the radiance scale factors in order to convert gain values to radians. So we will select our we'll open our array ASCII file containing the scale factors. Inside output, select the text file. So this will show all the scale factors, 146 scale factors, and then click OK. So that created the radiance image. Now we'll just select the output reflectance file location. So here we will this. Next is output directory for flash file. So after atmospheric correction, so there will be a water column imagery will be created by this flash atmospheric correction models, also some cloud classification images also. So in order to store that, I will just we'll give the directory. create inside output folder. We'll create another folder called flash. Select the flash folder. So we have created the output directory for flash files, and we have to give the root name for the flash files. Now we need certain information from our related to our imagery and the sensor. So for that we need a scene sender location, its value in lat long, sensor altitude, ground elevation, pixel size, etc., flight date, flight time. So for that we will open our metadata. So this is our metadata. So here you can see the site latitude, longitude, then flight start time. So we'll just add this information here. First we will select the sensor type, that is under hyperspectral. You can see Hyperion. Select that and give the lat long information decimal point. So latitude is 18.5 and longitude is 73.74. And 74. Now sensor altitude is the sensor's altitude from the mean sea level. So that is 705 kilometer. This information is available in the Hyperion data user guide. And ground elevation will just give us 0.025. That is the elevation of our scene from the mean sea level. And the pixel size is 30 meter. Flight date. So this day of the year is 1/17/2013. So we have to give it this date, month, and date. So our year is 2013. 2013 117. That is 27th April 2013. So I'll just give the date here. 27th April. Now the flight time is 4 hours 52 minutes and 37 seconds. 52 minutes and 37. So we have given the scene and sensor options. Now we will give the select the atmospheric model. So here we have a list of atmospheric models. So from that, all the modern atmospheric models given, standard atmospheric models given, we have to select the one which is more similar to our scene conditions. So just select tropical and switch on this water retrieval option. And in order to calculate the uh, column water amount for each pixel, we'll just use this water absorption feature. So we'll select it as 1135 nanometer. And next is aerosol model. So from this, since our area is mostly in over Mumbai region, we'll select the urban aerosol model. And aerosol retrieval method, we'll select 2 band KT. And assuming that the data was acquired on clear sky conditions, we will give the initial visibility as 40. And next is can switch the spectral pollution to yes. So it is in order to remove the spectral artifacts of the final surface reflectance image. We will use this. And the moving window, we have to give the um, moving window size. So give the width as 9. And wavelength recalibration will give no. That is used for if wavelength miscalibration is there. So after giving all these input parameters, we can click apply to perform the atmospheric correction. So we'll just click apply. So after applying the flash atmospheric correction, so it will give the average water amount. So here you can see the column water image and the flash crowd classification map. So and also all the converted surface reflectance calculated surface reflectance or bands is also available here. So we have given the output inside flash file. So for all the subset bands, it has created the surface reflectance, corresponding surface reflectance bands. So now next we will see, in order to see the difference between our surface reflectance dataset and the original dataset, which is having, that is a removal of bad bands or strip lines, we'll see the difference in the spectral reflectance curve of these images. So for that, first we will plot the spectral reflectance curve of the surface reflectance image. So for that, select RGB, select band 40, band 30 and band 20. Then click on load RGB. So this has created the RGB for our surface reflectance image. Now we just plot the surface reflectance curve for a vegetation. So for that, click your mouse cursor on in vegetated area and right click and select set profile. So this is the spectral profile for this particular vegetated pixel. So that is after the calculating the surface reflectance. Now we will just open the RGB for our initial file image, that is before applying the all the corrections. So to load that, we will just use another display. We'll create a new display. So click on new display, and so display 2 is created. Now we'll select the bands. Okay, we'll select band 40, 40 and 30 and band 20, and then load RGB. So this is the image, RGB image of our original dataset without any correction. So here also, like, we can sync both of these views. So for that you can click right click and then select link displays. So the particular both the pixel we have selected in both the images will be same, display 1 and 2. So here also that particular pixel is selected, and we just plot the spectral reflectance curve for this. So both are same pixel, and this is the spectral reflectance curve for reflectance image, and the uncorrected image, and you can see that much it is varying. So because of the bad bands and so many dark and brighter bands, the values are going down and up here, and there are also break is also there in between some bands, but like the corrected after correction, surface reflectance data set is giving a nicer curve. So this is a spectral reflectance curve for vegetation. Similarly, spectral reflectance curve of urban area also we can draw. To unlink the views, unlink the displays, you can click right click and unlink a display. Again, for linking, right click and click link displays. So these are the spectral reflectance curve for urban area. Similarly for water body. And these are the output cloud classification map after atmospheric correction. Cloud mask created. And this is the column water vapor for each pixel generated after the flash atmospheric correction. These are the output files created in the flash directory. It is flash water column water vapor and also the cloud mask. So this is the pre-processing of Hyperion data using NV software.